Hi, I'm Anthony Millet, partner of Antler Australia. We are a $40 million VC fund that has a talent-led investment thesis. We bring phenomenal individuals together into our programs, help them find co-founding teams, coalesce around their ideas and the best ideas in the program, and back these people extremely early as their first institutional investor and take them on that journey to build highly valuable global businesses. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our response to COVID-19. I'll also and share some of those learnings. Talk a little bit about some of the examples where our companies within our portfolio have pivoted or looked to deepen relationships with customers by being more supportive and seeing opportunities there. Bring you up to date on our recent round of investments and what we look for in our investments, and also tell you a little bit about our COVID-19 initiative, looking to invest in businesses that are helping solve that problem and be the companies that we think will be highly valuable in the future around that theme. And then share some information on how you can get in touch with us. So we first recognized in early Feb that it was clear that the impact of COVID-19 was going to be beyond just something that was limited to China. And the first thing that we set in place was sit down with all of our portfolio companies. At that time, we had 13 portfolio companies, and we explained that it was likely to be a very tricky road ahead for them. We looked at each of the businesses individually, the business sectors that they operated in, to try and predict the impact, look at their cash runway and other considerations. We leveraged great material that other VCs put out there, and it was great to see the VC community really come together to help kind of share learnings there, and also looked at what the impact might have been in previous economic disasters such as the GFC to kind of help the companies pave their way forward. Fortunately, most of our businesses have models which were temporarily impacted rather than kind of business killers, and so a lot of them have looked at how they can go into a slower pace in terms of business development and sales, whilst also mitigating their cost bases. We then also accelerated the development of our internal tech platform. This is a platform that we use for helping founders get to know each other, come together, share information on each other. Platform that they use for sharing information on their businesses, that they use to navigate our program locally and globally. Also, the platform that we use for our investment committee was built for this accelerated build because of this occasion. And then also the platform that's used for our programs here in Australia and also around the world. And we held our first digital investment committee at the beginning of the end of March, and that went extremely well with great engagement from the VC community. And ever since, we've been running our program in a purely digital fashion, which has actually had no impairment or impact negatively. In fact, we actually find that it's having many positive effects. A number of our companies, as I mentioned, pivoted to look at how they could take advantage of the COVID opportunity that presented for them, and that was either through looking at new business lines or new ways of generating revenue, or generally being very supportive to their existing customers. And ensuring that they deepen those relationships in these more challenging times. So we have Avertro, which is a cybersecurity business and is offering free cyber readiness assessments to existing clients and to new clients. And we've read a lot about the fact that as a result of COVID-19, there have been a lot more cyber attacks and people looking to take advantage and criminals looking to take advantage of that. And that's been really well received. Scouter is a business that we've got that connects hiring teams and top talent with some of the world's fastest companies, and they've been particularly active in helping place those who've lost jobs as a result of the current situation. And then Upcover is our portfolio company that is providing insurance to the gig economy, and they've been providing additional support to those workers in terms of more information in supporting them through this process, as well as petitioning the government to help support those on temporary visas that have found themselves in a bit of a tricky situation. So it's really great to see some of our portfolio take advantage of the situation or perhaps make it less worse. And this action has been taken globally by all the Antler companies around the world. We've now got close to 200 companies in our portfolio across our offices around the world. We operate in 6 continents. In terms of the numbers of people that apply to come into our program, I mentioned at the start that we are a talent investor where we bring phenomenal individuals into our program, and they may look anything like serial entrepreneurs to people out of university research departments to lead engineers or former CTOs, domain experts out of industry. We bring all of these people together and help them form really strong co-founding teams. And what we've actually seen as a consequence of COVID-19 is our business model and the opportunity for individuals and the opportunity for Antler has got even stronger. And that's really been driven by a couple of themes. One is the availability of talent. We've now found a lot of phenomenal people reconsidering their options, considering if they feel purposeful in their current roles in light of the global health scare that we've seen. Unfortunately, we've seen a number of people being made redundant or feel now incredibly insecure in their roles and thinking, well, now's the time for me to back myself to go and build a business. So the availability of talent has really exploded. And what is quite interesting is also the opportunity to go and build a business has really presented itself. And if we look back to the last time we saw kind of wider dislocation of the markets, we can look back to the GFC and look at those businesses that were funded in the wake of the GFC. And you'll recognize all of these businesses here on the screen. I always love seeing this page, especially with regards to Airbnb and Uber, because it's somewhat sobering and exciting to remember that these businesses at one point were just a couple of people and had to go and raise their seed funding round. And you look at how much they've raised and obviously how much those companies are worth. And we're seeing huge amounts of opportunity and similarity in what we're seeing now in that existing businesses, existing corporates, existing industries have and will continue to shed jobs. They'll be focused on their core. Innovation budgets will severely slow down and they'll be quite insular and inwards looking, which leaves a lot of opportunity for those, the most ambitious people, to go and build businesses right now to truly disrupt industries where there may have been more resistance before. So we're incredibly excited for the opportunity that exists here right now. In terms of is Antler investing or are we still investing? We absolutely are still investing. We actually doubled the size of our portfolio in April. For our program, founders weeks working with each other and also working with the Antler team. Are over 150 investors, local VCs, and our advisors. And those 80 people ultimately formed 28 teams. And we actually decided to invest in 13 of those businesses through April. So we're thrilled to have doubled the size of our portfolio to 26 now. And we were also thrilled to have, even in light of the crisis that was going on, and a lot of VCs spending a lot of time with their portfolios trying to understand the impact on it, we were still joined by partners from all of these fantastic Australian VC firms to help us make those decisions and vote on the businesses that Antler should ultimately invest in. So it was really great engagement from all of these partners. And so what are we looking for at the moment? This hasn't really changed. This is consistent with what we were looking at previously and what we'll continue to look at. Although, of course, adapted for the current market and what we think the future looks like in a post-COVID-19 world. But the first thing that we look for are the team. We're helping the teams come together in the Antler environment. And we're really looking for that team that has great complementary skills, great team product fit, and also the right levels of ambition, courageousness, determination, grit and resilience in building something that's a truly global opportunity. We're also looking for a product that's got a clear differentiation. And as I mentioned earlier, we think the opportunity to go and disrupt markets right now is extremely exciting. And obviously with Antler being around and other VCs being around to give that early stage funding, there's probably never been a better time to go and build a new venture. And we're also looking for those businesses that have got highly scalable business models. And from an Antler perspective, the kinds of businesses and opportunities that we look at are those that we believe that within 5 years, with the right combination of product, market, and team, can get to over $100 million in revenue. And that really does attest back to the quality of the founders that are coming into Antler, and not just those first-time founders, but those serial entrepreneurs also. I mentioned earlier that as a response to COVID-19, Antler actually launched an initiative, and we went out to find a number of businesses, whether they be existing businesses or businesses that could quickly be spun up, that were looking to help solve or mitigate the existing situation, provide medical equipment to assist with the COVID-19 pandemic, looking at tools around remote health and digital tools, etc. And that can also spread into things like mental health, etc. And we were looking to invest $500,000 in up to 5 opportunities globally. And we were blown away that over a 2-week period, we had over 1,600 applications across 90 countries, which is truly phenomenal. One shows that Antler's reach around the world, and the fact that we've been able to activate those global networks to really drive that level of interest. But also, too, it's great to see that in spite of the current situation, the amount of ambition amongst entrepreneurs around the world and who are determined to really make a big difference. We're currently going through those applications right now. A number of investment committees have been scheduled to make those investment decisions. And actually, as a result of this campaign and the phenomenal response that we've seen, we've actually decided to extend the 2-week deadline that we'd set in place and actually keep this as a rolling campaign for as long as we see great applications. So we've actually decided to up the number of teams that we will invest in globally. I was really excited to be able to share that update with you all now. A few things coming up. If you'd like to learn more about Antler or apply to come into the next program, you can go to our website at antler.co. There's program details there around the Sydney program, which is launching on June the 15th, and we are still taking applications to come in at this stage. Thanks very much for listening, and be really happy to take any questions that you might have.